we plan on doing that again. We'll begin to go out into the community and set up meetings in different parts in the precincts so that people might come forward and ask us these questions and we can answer them. The other thing that you brought up is very true. Gregg County really appreciates us over there. That's $700,000 of profit I believe they're going to make. That's after they pay their help and everything. They're going. The difference is that those beds over there are minimum security beds, and that's not what we're short on here in Smith County. It's been brought up in one of the previous meetings that the sheriff got up and spoke at, that where we're having problems is your medium and maximum security, and also the females. State law requires that we keep female prisoners out of sight of male prisoners, and so we have to build a jail with those logistics in it. And the numbers that were brought up before about us only costing us $36 a day to house a prisoner here and $40 over there. What's not taken into effect is the transportation cost that we have also. Plus, the reason we got that $40 price is because the sheriff went out along with his two chief deputies and they negotiated that price, because the company we were with started out at $40 and they wanted to go to 43 on us 2 years ago, and the sheriff was able to negotiate it back down to 42, but there wasn't any more room for negotiations. They were fixing to go up to 43 to $44 on us, and then Gregg County stepped up to the plate after the sheriff contacted and talked to Sheriff Serrano over there, and the sheriff's office was able to get that contract with Upshur County and Gregg County to save the taxpayers that little bit of money. When you say $3 or $4 a prisoner when you're housing 200 prisoners out of the county, that's quite a bit of savings in one day. But it's nothing, it's what we call a rat hole. We're just going to keep pumping money down the rat hole. But there's citizens out there that want that. And that's why we have elections, and that's why we're asking for this bond. Thank you.
Further comment from court members? We have 2 public comments. Okay, call on Ron Mabry. Good morning, Mr. Mabry. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. First of all, I'd like to say I'm on the task force committee, but I'm not representing the task force committee today. I just have some general comments. And I don't know if I can make the comments I want to make or not. I might have to ask Mr. Gary. Some of them were back on the Regions Bank building. It sounds like we've gone past that, but I just have some things I'd like to address on that, as well as some other things that y'all are looking at that. Can I do that? First of all, the task force committee, and again, I'm not representing them this morning, but I know what they've talked about in a lot of the work sessions. Integrated justice facility. I've heard integrated justice facility. If I haven't heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times. And that is the overall goal for this project. The first phase is to be the jail. The plan that came up, or the best plan for the jail, just happened to be where the Carlton is. And I don't think that's a bad thing. But it does displace some other county offices, which, and having created a good plan, we've kind of expanded the project. Now, back on the Regions Bank building, first of all, that was a study that was being done. I read the paper the other day, and I think that it maybe unfairly represented Regions Bank building concept. There's been a mall study with a wraparound concept. That was looked at. There's been planning studies looking at what the location of the south of the east option was in terms of private sector development and downtown revitalization. That plan had been looked at. Some of these studies were provided by individuals in the community, and some of them were provided by professionals that the court had hired. There were studies to enlarge the existing courthouse another 40,000 square feet without having to add on to the top of it, just using the existing properties around it. There was a CGL study of integrated justice facility that took in more of the county property to the south. And then there was the Regions Bank study, which was a study like the rest of these things. And when I first heard about it, I was excited about it. I was excited about it for two reasons. Number one, it's a good location. It can tie into the existing county building. It can tie into the existing courthouse. It's got parking. But the thing that excited me the most about it was that I think the horror that was in the newspaper or some of the comments I heard was the thing that made me most pleased, that it would displace some downtown tenants. The tenants in the Regions Bank building are tenants that have to be close to the courthouse. They're not going out of downtown. If the county were to buy this building, yes, it would displace some of these tenants. But what would that do? That would provide for private development in downtown. Private development for office space, but not just office space. Look at some of the other cities. Maybe a mixed-use building where you could have office space to facilitate the people that are in the Regions Bank building. You may could have some housing, part of the Dollar 21. They're trying to get housing downtown. If you've got a developer coming in building some office space for the tenants in the Regions Bank building, and create a housing environment and maybe some retail and mixed-use development. That type of thing will help revitalization of downtown. So you've got to look at the big picture. You can't just stop at a concept, oh, buying a Regions Bank building, people will be displaced. You've got to look at the residuals of this. And that's my only comment. And I heard you this morning, Judge, saying that, you know, you can still do other studies. And I really hope y'all get back to looking at that Regions Bank building. I know there are a lot of hoops to jump through, a lot of I's to dot, and a lot of T's to cross on that. It would be a very complicated equation. But somehow if you could come up with a formula that would make that happen, that would be good for downtown. It would help jump starts on the revitalization downtown. That's all I want to say right now, but I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mr. Maker, and we certainly appreciate all your time and dedication to this project and your willingness to volunteer. Okay, Benjamin Horn. Reverend Horn, good morning.
I'm Benjamin Horn. I'm pastor of God's Will Missionary Baptist Church, presently interim pastor, and I live at 6996 Rain here in the county. I come this morning, Your Honor, in court to do probably that's something not necessarily done often. I come to compliment you and the court for your progress and your work that you've done in this last 6 months that we tried to do in 2005 and 2006 and did not make it this far. I know that there are a lot of bugs to be worked out. The county and the people in the county has got to realize that our county is growing in population. Many types of people coming in. We want to be attractive also to the incoming people and businesses and whatever. Our facilities, county facilities, some are in decay. I don't care what you say. They're in decay. Now we're going to have to loosen up and come to the realization that we're going to have to bite the bullet and invest in our county. No way around it. We argue about money. We argue about $10 here, $100,000 there. That $10 here is going to amount to $50 in another year or two. That $100,000 over here is going to amount to $500,000 another year or two. I compliment your court that I'm a retired federal employee also, and experience in human resources. To get valued employees for our county, you must come up to the mark and be willing to pay, because you get what you pay for. I compliment the court for